I can only speculate that the Black Pyramid was put there by the same people or aliens that built the ones in Giza.
They said in Alaska, a pyramid was found, larger than the one in Giza.
A mystifying object has been discovered buried deep beneath Alaska's freezeland near Mount McKinley, emitting an unexplained energy. The U.S. government has sealed off the area and silenced all personnel under threat of treason. But veteran intelligence officer Douglas Muckler is bravely speaking out, confirming stories describing massive dark glass pyramid embedded in the bedrock and aligning suspiciously with a blank spot on military maps.
It's simple as that. If they don't want you to see it, they don't want you to find it, they're going to make sure you don't.
What revelations lie within this mysterious structure? And why the intense secrecy after decades? Join us as we uncover the mysterious pyramid from the corners of Alaska that has got the U.S. government panicking. The secret of Alaska's mysterious Black Pyramid. A surprising discovery that's hard to explain was made in the distant icy grounds of Alaska. It's about a strange jet-black pyramid found deep underground near Mount McKinley, giving off odd energy. We don't know where it came from or why it's there, but some new stories suggest that advanced civilizations might be keeping their secrets. This all started in 1992 when a huge underground nuclear explosion in China sent powerful waves to Alaska. Scientists noticed weird readings near Denali, which used to be called Mount McKinley. These readings came from more than 150 feet below the frozen ground and didn't make sense geologically. Douglas Muckler, who worked for the U.S. Army, remembered seeing a military map with a suspicious empty spot right where these strange things were happening. When Douglas heard about a local news report talking about a huge black pyramid found in Denali's rock, he hurried to record it. But strangely, all evidence of this disappeared quickly. The news station said they never reported it, and footage of the discovery was taken by unknown people in dark suits, without any badges or insignia. They made employees promise not to talk about it under the threat of treason. Douglas talked to a nervous technician who confirmed what happened before two serious individuals interrupted them. It seemed like the big bosses made a secret deal with a huge defense company. They promised to give them profitable contracts if they helped hide the pyramid. Anyone who didn't agree faced consequences like ruining their career or even disappearing. A curious journalist named Linda Moulton Howe got a tip from someone who didn't want to be named. They shared secret information with her. This person used to be in the military, and they said their dad was brought back to work in 1978 to check out the pyramid's weird energy powers. They said it could make an incredible amount of power. Linda found a retired sailor named Bruce Pearson, whose dad was hired in the late 1970s to help move stuff by helicopter to a remote part of Alaska. When they got there, Bruce's dad saw heavy-duty mining equipment, tunnels being dug into the mountains, and guards protecting fences around the pyramid. Later, when Linda's source tried to find out more, they were visited by two strangers who threatened them. They said bad things would happen if they didn't stop looking into it right away. Since then, the source has noticed strange things happening around their house at night, and their communications getting messed up. So, who's behind this complicated operation to keep everything secret for so long? Linda and Douglas started piecing together clues that connect the Alaskan pyramid to indigenous cultures, ancient civilizations that have been lost to time, and global similarities in architecture. They found stories passed down through generations, suggesting early contact with otherworldly beings, like angelic figures made of light or sky masters who could change shape and who shared advanced knowledge and technology. Even people who claim to have psychic abilities managed to catch glimpses of what's inside the pyramid. They described research teams navigating through complex passages, huge rooms with walls made of strange black material not found in any known rocks, and control rooms filled with high-tech gadgets that seemed to be connected to the structure itself. This hints that the pyramid might have come from a super-advanced civilization we don't know about. Some theories say it was left behind by giant explorers who traveled to the Arctic a long time ago. Others think that native elders have kept secrets about where it came from and what it means, and that modern government agencies are hiding the truth to gain more power. Leaked papers show that engineers from big aerospace and defense companies have been sent to Alaska to study the pyramid. They've been ordered to try to get energy from artifacts found there, which could power super-advanced computers that might help us explore other dimensions. All of this is happening secretly under the government's watch. Investigative researchers think there's a lot more going on underground than we realize. What started as a strange, shaking underground has turned into a big discovery that can't be hidden anymore. Now that bits of this mystery are starting to come out, people like Douglas, Linda, and others who are joining them are pushing for the truth to be told and for more to be uncovered. This could change the way we think about science and rewrite what we know about where humans come from and where we're going. So if you're exploring the far north of Alaska, be careful. Underneath the ground, there's a big secret waiting to be found, a glowing black glass pyramid that's been kept hidden. It might hold ancient knowledge or be a way to reach things we can't even imagine. As people keep searching for the truth, what's coming out from under the ice in Alaska is shaking up what we thought we knew. Just over the next hill, there could be proof of the biggest secret since civilization began, something that could help humanity enter a new era of understanding, enlightenment, and working together. If only we're brave enough to bring it into the light for everyone to see. Shocking images recently emerged depicting alleged aliens interacting with humans. If proven authentic, these startling photos could irrevocably reshape our understanding of humanity's cosmic status. Let's examine the evidence further. Shocking dark web images about hidden alien life forms. Recent mysterious pictures have appeared on hidden parts of the internet, supposedly showing encounters between humans and aliens. If these photos are real, they could be groundbreaking evidence that we're not the only intelligent beings in the universe. But there are a lot of questions about where these pictures came from and why they're being shared in secretive online spaces. The images are blurry and show creatures that look like aliens. They have long arms and legs, big oval heads, and glowing pale skin. Their strange appearance doesn't match anything we know from science, but experts who've analyzed the photos haven't found any obvious signs of them being fake. Still, there are doubts. Why would someone share such important pictures in hidden corners of the internet, instead of showing them openly to the world? Some people think there might be shady reasons behind it, like trying to trick others for personal, political, or financial reasons. If these pictures turn out to be real, it would be a huge deal. It would mean that aliens from other planets have visited Earth, and that would make us rethink our place in the universe in a big way. Again, if these photos turn out to be real, it would shake up both science and religion, forcing them to rethink their beliefs to fit this new reality. People would also have to think deeply about what it means for them and society as a whole. Right now, though, the photos are just strange things on the internet with no clear explanation. Some people find them fascinating, but others think they're probably fake. Still, interest in mysteries like UFO sightings and the Roswell incident remains strong. Until we have more solid evidence about where these photos came from and whether they're real, they'll remain in a sort of gray area between conspiracy theories and actual truths. But their sudden popularity has sparked a renewed interest in the mysteries of the universe. There may be some who already know these truths, but want to keep humanity in the dark like we're in a sort of mental quarantine. But what happens when the truth starts to leak out? Behind the scenes, forces are pushing for a new way of thinking. This could be a time when we learn that we're not alone and that there are beings from other worlds among us. It might also be when the lies of the powerful can't hide the truth anymore, leading to a new era where we see things differently. It could be a time of hope, breaking through the darkness of the old way of doing things. In 2005, astronauts aboard the International Space Station spotted a bizarre V-shaped formation of lights keeping pace with them in orbit. If proven to be advanced technology beyond human capabilities, this celestial sighting could indicate we are not alone in space. Let's analyze the evidence behind this puzzling extraterrestrial encounter. Astronauts spot a V-shaped UFO in space. While people on Earth might debate about UFO sightings, the perspective changes a lot for those outside Earth's atmosphere. In 2005, astronaut Leroy Chiao and his crewmates on the International Space Station had a remarkable experience. Traveling at a super-fast speed, 200 miles above Central Asia, they had an amazing view of the sky and Earth below. One evening, Chiao saw something strange while watching a sunrise from the command deck. He and his crewmates noticed a group of lights forming a V-shape, moving in front of a constellation called Hercules. These lights seemed to be keeping up with the ISS. They quickly grabbed cameras to take pictures. Chiao thought each light was 10 times brighter than the planet Venus. The whole formation was tens of degrees wide, with uneven spacing between the lights. After about 45 seconds, the lights disappeared without moving. Even though they looked at the pictures they took, they couldn't find anything that could explain what they saw. They ruled out things like reflections or illusions, especially since the whole crew saw it together. In the years since, Chiao still thinks what they saw can't be easily explained as something natural or man-made that they knew about. He's not the only one. Other experienced scientists who were there with him also agree. It's not something that can just be ignored. Maybe somewhere, scientists have figured out what these lights were. If so, whoever is behind them hasn't said anything. Until then, some lights in the sky will stay unidentified. Rumors of alien UFOs hidden inside Antarctica go back decades and continue sparking conspiracy theories today. With mystifying incidents, covered-up military missions, and strange sightings, could humanity's future discoveries there prove we are not alone? Let's explore these icy secrets. The strange history of UFO sightings in Antarctica. The icy continent of Antarctica has long been a source of fascination and mystery. Despite the harsh environment, people have been drawn there for over a century, seeking adventure, scientific data, and perhaps evidence of alien visitations. Reports of UFOs seen over Antarctica go back much further than one might expect. In the 1930s, when exploration of the frozen continent was still in its very early stages, rumors already existed of strange flying objects and alien structures hidden deep under the ice. It began with various occult groups in the late 1800s and early 1900s, most notably the Thule Society, a German order obsessed with lost civilizations and exotic technology. The Thulists believed there was a hidden entrance to the hollow Earth somewhere in Antarctica, possibly containing remnants of Atlantis or contact with alien species. This fueled numerous expeditions to the region in the 1920s and 30s, which claimed to have seen evidence of alien activity in the skies. Then, in 1938, the Third Reich launched its exploration mission to Antarctica, led by the aircraft carrier Schwabenland. Officially, the Schwabenland's purpose was to stake a claim to territory in Antarctica and scout locations for a permanent base. However, many believe the true purpose was related to the Thulists' belief in ancient alien technology hidden under the ice. Numerous reports claim that the Schwabenland expedition witnessed UFOs over the region and may have even used advanced sonar equipment to investigate what lies far beneath the frozen surface. Just a few years later, during the massive US-British-Australian military force known as Operation High Jump in 1946-47, pilots reported seeing flying discs pacing their planes and flashing lights coming out of the water near Antarctica. There is even a rumor that the high jump forces were defeated in a secret battle against intelligent aircraft from elsewhere, with many men and equipment lost. While the official explanation claimed poor weather caused the early retreat, many believe it was done to hide the true events from the public. From that point onward, Antarctica took on an aura of secrecy. In the 1950s and 60s, numerous ships and aircraft reported UFO sightings while traveling to or near Antarctica. These accounts were often kept quiet or confined to military personnel due to the increasing political tensions. But slowly, stories started to leak out. A British expedition to the Antarctic Peninsula in 1962 spoke of unusual aerial phenomena filling the late-night skies. An Argentine ship in 1965 reported their compass needles spinning erratically near the South Shetland Islands. A New Zealand pilot claimed to see shiny silver discs following his plane for hundreds of miles in 1973. Two Japanese whalers in 1965 say a torpedo-like flying craft emerged from beneath the thick ice shelves of Queen Maud Land and began to track their ship. The list of odd occurrences goes on and on throughout the latter half of the 20th century. Something mysterious was happening around the frigid Antarctic coast, islands, and interior lands. In the modern age of satellites and GPS, the sightings have not stopped either. Photographs show formations in the barren ice that resemble bases or landing strips that shouldn't naturally exist. Strangely glowing clouds have been spotted emanating over the same locations again and again by different pilots and passengers on scientific flyovers. And just in 2012, a triangular craft was reported hovering over one of Antarctica's research stations for hours before bolting skyward and vanishing in less than a second. In 1946, Operation High Jump launched a massive U.S. naval mission of 4,700 men to Antarctica for mysterious, unknown purposes. Their premature retreat 2 months later fueled rumors of secret warfare against advanced flying saucers and hidden alien bases. Stay tuned. The Navy's secret mission of Operation High Jump. In 1946, the United States organized a massive naval and research expedition to the mysterious continent of Antarctica. Known as Operation High Jump, the official stated goals were to establish an Antarctic research base, test personnel and equipment in extreme cold conditions, and extend American sovereignty over the frozen continent. However, the size and scale of the operation suggest there were more unknown purposes behind the ambitious mission. Operation High Jump set sail from Naval Station Norfolk in Virginia in January 1946 under the command of renowned polar explorer Admiral Richard Byrd. The expedition was incredibly large, especially for immediately following World War II. It included 4,700 men, 13 ships, and multiple aircraft. The naval fleet contained the aircraft carrier Philippine Sea, seaplane tender Pine Island, destroyer Brownson, icebreaker Northwind, and submarine Senate. They were assisted by a submarine supply ship, oiler, and a British-Norwegian whaling fleet operating in the region. Once arriving in Antarctica several weeks later, the fleet split into 3 groups to cover as much of the continent's coastline as possible. Float planes flew surveilling missions, while icebreakers and snowplows drove tracks deep inland. Despite being the height of the Antarctic winter, Operation High Jump personnel moved quickly to build the Little America 4 base as an American presence. So what was the actual purpose behind this massive endeavor? According to Admiral Byrd's testimony upon returning prematurely back to America just 8 weeks later, the mission experienced great aerial activity. Float planes and helicopters flying reconnaissance missions encountered fast-moving flying saucers that raced alongside and circled the Navy craft. Witnesses claimed some of the mysterious, circular foil-like objects emerged directly out of the water. The phenomena happened repeatedly, no matter how far out, 20 to 30 miles from the coastline the Navy ventured. Byrd warned the High Command that his forces needed to retreat immediately due to extremely high casualties. These were not from any Soviet combat forces, as the Cold War had not yet officially begun. Rather, he urgently radioed. These were caused by enemy objects of unknown origin, capable of flying from pole to pole at incredible speeds. But the heavily armed Operation High Jump fleet was no match for the maneuverable flying discs buzzing mere feet from their hulls. The expedition lost several planes attempting to photograph the evasive silver saucers, plus the crash of a marine transport plane carrying special equipment. Another incident nearly caused a Navy destroyer to strike an iceberg trying to pursue a flying silver craft, diving back into the frigid ocean. Admiral Byrd felt staying any longer would ultimately doom the entire Operation High Jump, as their new enemy was unstoppable. The fleet rapidly abandoned Little America 4 despite it being their purpose to establish an Antarctic foothold. Byrd ordered High Jump to cease all activities and pull out of Antarctica due to rising losses in men and aircraft. The mission that was supposed to last 6 to 8 months fearfully withdrew in a mere 8 weeks. Of course, no mention of unusual flying objects or confrontations occurred in any official communications back to Washington. In later years, Admiral Byrd would strangely go public, claiming that there existed a point beyond the South Pole entrance into a mysterious temperate inner Earth full of lush vegetation, advanced beings, and cities made of gold. This Agartha was supposedly occupied by survivors of ancient Atlantis, who created UFOs powered by the Earth's electromagnetic energies to defend their secret sanctuary. While most considered this merely the ramblings of an aging mind, others wonder if Operation High Jump in 1946 encountered such beings escaping out of our hollow Earth, or perhaps even highly aggressive alien species still currently based below Antarctica's ice sheets today. Whatever the truth, Operation High Jump encountered something so threatening that Admiral Byrd halted major naval operations to immediately evacuate Antarctica, despite the operation still being in its very early stages. The existence of unknown highly advanced aircraft besting the modern military might of the post-World War II U.S. fleet certainly points to the latter. Later expeditions over the decades to the South Pole that continued experiencing similar UFO mysteries support this as well. Recent satellite images reveal pyramids and structures buried under Antarctica's ice, aligned cardinally like Egypt's. Are these the remnants of a lost advanced civilization from 12,000 years ago? What other secrets might emerge as the ice continues to melt back? Let's dive in. Frozen pyramids of a lost civilization. Antarctica is known for its harsh winds, bitter cold, and sheets of ice that are over a mile thick. Yet beneath the frozen surface may lay evidence of an ancient lost civilization that once thrived before global cataclysm buried its structures under layers of snow and ice. Recent satellite images have detected what appear to be the tips of man-made pyramids jutting up through the barren white land, some arranged in specific geometric alignments not occurring naturally. The discovery of ancient pyramids in Antarctica would dramatically rewrite human history. Mainstream archaeology claims that pyramid construction began about 460 years ago in ancient Egypt. Yet Antarctica has presumably been covered under a gigantic ice sheet for between 15 and 45 million years according to conventional estimates. So how can pyramids be poking through the surface? This mystery all started in January 2006, when ancient civilization scholars noticed several curious formations scattered around various parts of coastal Antarctica in high-resolution satellite pictures that showed up on Google Earth. 2 pyramidal structures were spotted just inland from Exmouth Peninsula in East Antarctica. The larger of the pair resembles a step pyramid with 4 incrementally smaller levels leading to a peaked capstone. Even more stunning, its architecture precisely aligns with the 4 cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. Other ancient geographers like Hapgood suggested Earth's crustal displacement may have violently slid landmasses across the globe just 12,000 years ago. So Antarctica may have only been buried under its polar ice cap since then, not millions of years. This means any ancient civilization present in Antarctica up to the late Pleistocene age could now be trapped and preserved under the ice, including its pyramids, poking up as evidence of its advanced intelligence. Besides the Mawson Land pyramids, 4 other ancient structures popped up from the ice slightly to the west around Oates Land. Resembling the crumbling stone monuments of Latin American cultures, these weathered spires rise at regular intervals from an elevated ice ridge that runs parallel to the coast. Archaeologists estimate that erosion has worn down what once were majestic pyramids to a mere 50 feet in height today. Another peculiar sight appeared in satellite photos further inland during high summer, when the ice partially melts. Near Bailey Peninsula, 2 long icy mounds flank a central rhomboid-shaped mound carved into the frozen land. At first, scientists dismissed the shapes as merely deformation cracks in the 2-mile-thick ice sheet. But defect patterns tend to be haphazard, while these evenly spaced rows seem too perfect to be natural, almost as if they were man-made foundations for some kind of large complex rising high into the sky. Ancient maps further support the theory that ancient civilizations once existed around current-day Antarctica. Charles Hapgood's research examined the Peary Reyes map from 1531, which displays a landmass resembling the subglacial topography of Queen Maud Land, Antarctica, that only radio echo-sounding discovered in the 1950s. This impossible feat means an advanced ancient seafaring culture mapped Antarctica's coast when large areas remained ice-free long before recorded history. And could those civilizations have built pyramids aligned to the 4 cardinal directions just like in Egypt? Certain researchers believe they did exactly that and claim hidden evidence still exists under the ice, waiting to be revealed. They point to the heavy secrecy still surrounding Antarctica. What more might remain concealed from the public besides just frozen old pyramids, underground facilities, abandoned science experiments, the wreckage of alien spacecraft? Where exactly does all the ice begin and where does it end? In 1985, a pilot spotted a massive 300-foot-wide hole in Antarctica leading to a secret underground base. Rumors suggest advanced alien civilizations cooperate covertly with humans there to solve energy crises and weaponize psychic abilities. Does an improbable complex lurk beneath the ice? Or is it just imagination? Keep watching to find out. A secret tunnel where humans and aliens meet? Antarctica is by far Earth's most isolated landmass, with average temperatures that do not rise above freezing and dangerously frigid winds. The barren white surface would seem to be uninhabitable for all life, aside from a few hardy microbes. Yet, as desolate and lifeless as Antarctica may seem, countless mysteries and conspiracies surround what some believe is happening deep under the ice. Perhaps even direct contact and cooperation between humankind and extraterrestrial visitors. The most captivating mystery involves the discovery of a 300-foot-wide hole boring under the Antarctic surface that supposedly leads to an immense underground chamber and tunnel network stretching for hundreds of miles. In many areas of the world, from ancient sites in South America to religious caves in Turkey, underground tunnels have existed for millennia, dug out deep in the bedrock often for spiritual or ceremonial purposes. But what if a massive one was recently detected in an extremely remote and hostile place like Antarctica, and constructed not by ancient indigenous tribes, but rather by advanced alien species working together with the human race? In late 1985, an emergency medical evacuation flight had to be redirected in mid-air to avoid a no-fly zone over Marie Byrd Land, one of Antarctica's largest regions. While soaring over the towering Transantarctic mountain range at a low operating altitude, First Officer Bradford's chin nearly hit the floor as he gazed out his side window. A massive, gaping circular opening was visible just adjacent to the mountains that had to be at least 300 feet wide, large enough to engulf their 737 aircraft whole. The pit descended so deeply into the ice that the bottom was unable to be seen. Surrounding the anomaly were vehicle caterpillar tracks crisscrossing everywhere, which Bradford confirmed by checking compass readings were indeed on the Antarctic landmass and not part of the open ocean. Bradford managed to take several quick photographs out his cockpit window before the plane accelerated to move safely clear of Marie Birdland's no-fly zone. But the underground hole with its clearly artificial industrial openings was forever burned into his memory. Upon returning to his home base in Christchurch, New Zealand, Bradford told his superiors and colleagues of what he saw. For the next 2 days, he answered questions from unfamiliar men clad in suits carrying identity badges of a nondescript eagle. Shortly afterward, Bradford disappeared, and none of his fellow crew members ever saw him again. However, when his possessions were mailed back to family members, the developed photographs were gone. Nearly 2 decades later, in 2002, Bradford resurfaced briefly in an online conspiracy forum, relating elements of his bizarre abduction experience that he refused to fully elaborate on. Under the username Snowman, he confessed that he was explicitly instructed never to speak of the giant ice hole to any other soul. Its actual purpose and tenets were considered a threat to public order and morality if discovered. But Bradford could not hold his silence any longer, believing that after so many years since he was shown the hidden Antarctic world, his non-disclosure oath should have expired. Still trying to reveal as little as possible, Snowman explained that the ice hole led to an expansive, illuminated chamber directed by non-humans, working in cooperation with several international governments on advancing technology and discovery initiatives beneficial for all mankind. Imagine a research ice tunnel wide enough to fly 737s through, leading downward over half a mile beneath the frozen Antarctic surface into a rationally impossible subglacial habitat the size of a major city. Lit and heated by geothermal vents, diffusive fans constantly cycle in outside air to prevent dangerous carbon dioxide buildup. Entire advanced industries exist focused on applied quantum physics, molecular restructuring, psychic enhancement, and off-planet field theory. Thousands of humans who have willingly disappeared from ordinary society work alongside vaguely described non-human specialists, side by side at stations, seeking to solve the ultimate energy crisis, weaponize psychic abilities, and open reliable portals to other dimensions. All are overseen by a council of elected representatives from the hidden populations. Does an improbable base of such scale and purpose truly exist under the barren, icy plains of Antarctica, powered by geothermal heat for facilities and a society cut off from the outside world to thrive endlessly? Or is it just another permutation of the famed human imagination, endlessly dreaming of magical realms, isolated from the tribulations that plague ordinary experience? Regardless, the very concept of a secret world intentionally hidden far beneath one of the most uninhabitable places on Earth, flush with advanced technology blended between humans and aliens, is utterly fascinating. Of course, such an astonishing installation built covertly down into the planet could only be accomplished with direct alien guidance showing humanity where to tunnel and how to hyper-efficiently generate self-contained biospheres capable of sustaining life deep underground. Reported calcium-rich Martian meteorites discovered in Antarctica during the 1990s may provide further credence to speculation of ET cooperation on classified scientific projects secretly operating beneath the icy continent. So why, after billions of years, would an advanced race only recently begin interacting with people openly now, at least covertly through collaborative ice tunnels? 100 years from now, will some ordinary individual accidentally stumble onto a gaping tunnel leading down to a globe-spanning metropolis, populated by humans and beings from distant worlds working fervently together? And will that unsuspecting person greet the same fate as doomed First Officer Bradford, with their discovery immediately hidden from the rest of society? For now, we have only alluring accounts and internet speculation about what may lurk far below Antarctica's seemingly lifeless ice. Only time and perhaps a stroke of luck will reveal the hidden truth behind this urban legend. Like this video and subscribe for more exciting videos. Also, drop your movie suggestions in the comments below.